Good evening, pagan explorers, and welcome to my channel tonight. And tonight I'm going to bring you a different type of explore, because I am exploring the world of horror stories that will rob you of your sleep. I must warn you before I continue that watch this video at your own risk. And tonight's tales are brought to you by people from Pinterest. And before I go any further, I'd like to remind people, if you are brand new, to please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell so you can see any of my other content that might get uploaded. And please be sure to check out any of my other videos as well. I will also leave my other social media channels in the link below. So I will now begin these tales of horrors. Tonight, our first tale is brought to you by 9gag.com, and it is called The Never-Ending Road. In Corona, there was once a road known by most locals as the Never-Ending Road. Specifically, the road's true name was Leicester Road. Now, over 20 years later, the landscape of Corona has changed, and the Never-Ending Road is no more. However, years ago, Leicester Road was an unlit road that people claim became the Never-Ending Road when driven at night. The people who made such a drive were never seen or heard from again. The legend became so well known that people refused to even drive Leicester Road during the day. One night, like many others, teens my age, I drove up Leicester Road, but only a short distance, and in my headlights it did look like it went on forever. Frightened, I quickly turned around, because if I continued up the road, I thought I might never return again. Perpetuation of the legend convinced local law enforcement to investigate. Leicester Road took a sharp turn at its end, and there were no guardrails. Beyond the curve lay a canyon, and on the other side of the canyon was another road that lined up so well with Leicester Road that when it became viewed from the correct angle, especially at night, the canyon vanished from sight, and the road seemed to continue on and up over the hill on the other side of the canyon. Upon investigation, dozens of cars were found fallen to their doom, with the victims still strapped to their seats. Some chilling stuff right there. Be careful when driving up roads at night. Tonight's next story is brought to you by Randy Salaz, and it's called There's Something on the Stairs. When I was a kid, I would race to the top of the stairs as fast as I could. It was like some sort of silly game. Well, I must have been 5 or 6 at the time. I'm not sure, but I know I was very little. Somewhere along the way, a voice at the top of the stairs started to whisper. It would make bets with me, such as, "I bet you a penny you can't make it to the top of the stairs." I don't really think there was a certain amount of time or anything. As I said, I was very little, so probably didn't have any counting abilities anyway. I recall just sitting at the top of the stairs having conversations with this voice, about betting, of course. Eventually, The voice, it was like a whisper of a man's voice, not my own voice in my head, started to bet me my life. And it'd say, I bet you your life you can't make it to the top of the stairs. As I got older, it stopped. I never really thought about it at all. I never mentioned it to anyone until one night I was sleeping over at my brother's place, and we were talking about spooky stories out of nowhere. I brought up the voice at the top of the stairs and my brother got all quiet. Before I mentioned anything, he said, "Did it make bets at you?" And we looked at each other horrified. That story once again was brought to you by Randy Solaz. A fantastic but creepy story, as you can tell. And tonight's next story doesn't have a title, but it is brought to you from a tube station. And this is brought to us by Scoop Whoop. When I stepped out of the tube station, it was raining heavily outside. I opened my umbrella and started walking. But something was wrong. The atmosphere was somehow very unpleasant. Strange. Every single person I walked past didn't have an umbrella over them. Everyone was silent and looking grim. And they walked on, all facing the same direction. Then suddenly, a taxi stooped by, and the driver put out his hand and beckoned me to come over. I gestured to him that I did not need a taxi, but the taxi driver said, "Come on, get in." He was so insistent that I had to give in. Besides, I wanted to get away from this unpleasant atmosphere. Well, you know, when I saw you, you were walking as if you were trying to avoid bumping into people on an empty street. So I thought I should help you. And tonight that concludes the stories that bring chills and rob you of your sleep. I'd like to thank you for watching once again, and please, if you enjoyed the videos, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it so much, please leave a thumbs down. And once again, thank you so much for watching. And bright blessings, blessed be, and if you can be anything in the world, then be nice to one another, because being kind is the most beautiful type of person that you can be. Thank you and good night.